we've got our Arrma Vorteks all taken out of the box. You've seen the unboxing video, or that portion of the video, whatever you want to say. So now, if you read your manual, what it says to do before you take it out for a test drive is, like what I went over before, is to make sure all the screws are tight, you know, make sure that everything's plugged in. Anything can happen in transit anyway, and these cars are put together by the hundreds at the factory, so you just want to double check the screws and stuff. But on another side note, what we're going to do right now is we're going to do what's called calibrating your remote to your car. And there's a few steps. It's quite easy. What it requires is a battery. So I've got my LiPo 3S battery plugged in here. And what we're going to do now is you're going to hit the select button right here, the select button. You're going to hold it and you're going to wait for the beep. That means that you're in calibration mode. Now we're going to turn on our remote. Okay, and we're going to hit the select button, which means that we have set up our center. And then we're going to hit the throttle, and we're going to hit the select button again. You hear that one beep. Then we're going to do full reverse. And it should be all set up. I'm just going to hold it down. And it's as easy as that. And now I'll figure out how to set the endpoints. And the endpoints, what we're going to go over next is, I'm going to turn this off because that fan is loud, is to set the endpoints. And what I mean by that is that's how far right and left you can turn your RC car. So when you're using your remote and you're turning right or you're turning left, you don't want your servo to be overworked, because what happens over time is it's going to decrease the life of your servo. So by setting the endpoints, we make sure that as far as the tires can turn is as far as the servo is actually working, instead of overworking it. Because if you're cranking it all the way right, the servo is going to try and go as far as it is, but then it's going to fight your car and it'll wear out your servo. Does that make sense? So we'll do that next. Okay. So now I'm going to walk you through how to set the endpoints on your new Arrma Vorteks. So if you can see here, we've got, if you look at the top, we've got your ABC, which is your active vehicle control. We've got your brake rate, your steering trim, and your throttle trim right on the remote, which is one of the things that I really like, along with setting your steering to normal or reverse, your throttle normal or to reverse, and then also setting up your throttle limits like 50, 75%, or 100%. That's one of the reasons why I really like this remote. It's very easy to use, and it's pretty intuitive, especially if you've already had an RC vehicle and you're just recently getting back into it. But, so the first thing you do is always turn on your remote first, and always make sure that these are centered. And what I mean by centered is that you can see that little notch right there, the little dot. Just make sure that it's, you know, right in the middle of each one of these settings before you turn it on, at least for the first time. So we're going to turn on our car. Oh, I did that wrong. So we're going to turn on our remote. Okay. The remote's on. We've got a green light. We're going to turn on our car. Okay. Okay, so it looks like everything's good to go. So now I'm going to leave the car on because it's not going to go anywhere. It'll go into its fail-safe mode. And I'm going to turn the remote off. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to turn your steering all the way to the right, and you're going to put your brake on full. Now, if my fingers are long enough to turn this on, so you can see that the brake is on, and I've got my steering all the way to the, okay, give it a second. See that blue flashing light? That means that we're able to set our endpoints. So this is the knob that you're going to use to set your endpoints. So we're going to turn our steering all the way to the right. I'm going to hold it there, and we're going to see how my tires are moving. Okay, so just so you can't move them anymore. So that's right about there. Right about there. Okay, and then I'm going to turn them all the way to the left, and I'm going to start that process all over again. I'm going to turn this until, because this is all the way with the knob, right? But I want to back it off until it starts to turn, and maybe a little bit more, and then right there it's off. So I'm just going to back it off just a teeny bit. And then your endpoints are set, but what you have to do to make sure that that setting takes hold is you need to turn off your car and turn off your remote. Once that's done, all you have to do is turn back on your remote first, and see how that blue light is not blinking anymore, it's a green light. Then we turn back on the car. Oh, and one other thing to note. Should have done this before, but this is your active vehicle control, and if it's not turned off, you probably want to leave it at the center mark until you drive it and get a feel for the car. Okay, so let's check our endpoints. There we go. So the endpoints are all set. So those are the things that you need to do right before you take it out on the road for sure. All right, well, thanks for watching, and click that like button, click that subscribe button, since Chris is not right here. We are RC Dads, PDX. Find us on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, and Instagram. All right, everybody, thanks for watching.